Hello, I'm Kate Stichina on InstaForex TV with the fresh Forex news. In the first part of 2010, the economic activity in France will grow by slower rates than it was expected, because the demand will remain unsteady. The statistical agency INSEE announced about this on Thursday. According to INSEE, the GDP of the second largest Eurozone economy will increase only by 0.2% in the first quarter of 2010. As it is forecasted, in the second quarter the advance of the GDP will stand at 0.3%. The expected growth rates will be slower than it was observed in the last quarter of 2009. At that moment, the French GDP surged by 0.6%. The revised forecasts for the GDP are also below the previous estimates of INSEE. Earlier in agency was predicted the growth of the French GDP by 0.4% in the first quarter and by 0.3% in the second quarter of 2010. The big economic recovery will strengthen the pressure on the French President Nicolas Sarkozy. His party lost at the regional elections, which were held in France last weekend. Not only INSEE decreased the forecast for the economy. The Bank of France on 8 of March revised its forecast for the advance of the GDP in the first quarter to 0.4% from 0.5%. The slower growth rates in the first half of the year will mean that the French economy will have to accelerate in the second half of the year in order to confirm the government's forecast concerning the upturn of the GDP by 1.4% in 2010. The budget is based on these forecasts. As it is expected, the consumer spending, which is the main motive power of the French economy, will stagnate in the first half of the year. The purchasing power and side effect of the car recycling program, which is gradually cut this year, will negatively affect the consumer expenditures. The alarm signal in terms of consumer spending was received on Thursday. INSEE announced about the unexpected falling of the consumer expenditures by 1.2% in February, whereas analysts were expecting that the spending would not change compared to January. In the fourth quarter of the previous year, when consumers hurried to buy cars before the reduction of benefits in 2010, the consumer expenditures in France grew by 0.9%. According to INSEE, in the first quarter the consumer expenditures will increase by 0.1% and in the second quarter will decrease by 0.2%. The forecasts for the export are also moderate. The foreign demand for the French produce probably will slow till the middle of 2010 and will be back to the average growth paces, INSEE noted. As a result, the French export should advance reasonably, with the rates a little above 1% per quarter. At the same time, the prospects of the business activity maintain weak. The volumes of orders small and the incomplete capacities remain in the economy. Nevertheless, INSEE started to assess more optimistically the outlooks of the labor market. The unemployment rate will increase a little. It will flatten out at 9.8% in the European part of France. In the middle of 2010, at the end of 2009, it will stood at 9.6%, noted in INSEE. It was Forex News provided to you by InstaForex News Team. Goodbye.